to the track, and now let's go down to Marty.
Let's check in with Ryan Preece. What a fantastic paint scheme this weekend for the Stewart-Haas cars. Ryan Preece playing the role of Ricky Bobby in the movie Talladega Nights with the Wonder Bread car. How's it going, Ricky Bobby?
Yeah, the car was, I think it's going to be real good. But honestly, I think we're going to be real good here.
Fully in character, I see.
I think so, yeah. But honestly, it's going to be pretty tough to make sure we do a good interview here today.
You don't know what to do with your hands, do you?
I don't know, but honestly, I really think we have a good Wonder Bread Ford Mustang. Chad and everybody with the Stewart-Haas racing team has been really fast on Superspeedways, so we'll see what we can do here.
Obviously, a lot of the talk this weekend will be about your not-so-fun ride at Daytona. How do you put something like that when you flip so many times, Ryan, behind you?
Move on to the next one. Keep all four on the ground. That's all you can do. We've had really fast Superspeedway cars, so the biggest thing is going to be keeping track position and hopefully keep this Wonder Bread Ford Mustang right up front and win this race.
Who's better, Ricky Bobby or Cal Naughton?
Silver's good too, Ricky.
There you go. So having some fun. His teammate Chase Briscoe in the Old Spice car. So if you've seen Talladega Nights, you'll recognize these cars this weekend, Rick.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun with it. Stewart-Haas Racing went all in with those two cars and drivers. They had a lot of fun on social media playing it up, as we just saw Riley Herbst go out and post a 52.71. He was 0.7 of a second faster than what we saw out of Chandler Smith.
The car's doing a lot of the work here. Let's not kid ourselves, but the driver does have some responsibilities, things that he needs to do correctly and well that they talk about during the week, so that this qualifying lap's as good as it possibly can be.
Good lap right here, starting out with Cedric. He's a little bit quicker than Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst drives for Stewart-Haas Racing. They've done great qualifying on these traction style tracks. Lost a little bit down the backstretch, losing a little bit more here as well. And I feel like at the end of these races, that two car is always around. You always see him. Obviously, he won the Daytona 500 a few years ago, but he's always in the picture late in these races. Gives himself an opportunity to win quite a few of these things.
Pretty close to Herbst there, as he's going to go second. 5/1000ths of a second slower.
Not worried about the playoff guys. I'm going to run my race to win it. See, Carson Hocefer did not finish his lap.
Yeah, backfired, lost power.
Backfired and lost power. That's a bad combination.
He raced in the Truck Series race earlier today, finished 11th, was up front leading some laps. He's currently second in points, 23 above the cut line for the Truck Series. Here comes Almirola. And we talked, Steve, you mentioned it, the skew of these cars earlier this year. That has been adjusted.
Well, the skew rule remains the same, but the suspension change takes away that opportunity the teams have to put it in. And still trending to run, it looks like maybe, just barely in the 52s if he continues to gain, which is a solid 0.3 of a second off both Herbst and Cindric.
Across the stripe, and he'll be third fastest at a 52.94. Do a little comparison as to what they look like at Daytona.
Yeah, so this is Daytona. You see how much the car is angled relative to the double yellow line.
Yeah, and he's running straight.
Yeah, and this is just solid an attempt, right, to get air away from the spoiler. So today, you look at that, how crooked that is compared, that was the past, compared to today. It looks like they're going perfectly straight down the back straightaway.
It was this man right here, Denny Hamlin, who was on the pole. So pace is picked up. Currently a 9.79 would barely get you into the top 10 for the second round. Another driver with his hand up. To your point now, Junior, he is maybe even outside that bar a little bit. It's not just plugging the hole, but trying to trip the air. He's going to do it in the corner as well.
Hovering right around that 19/1000ths of a second off of Harvick.
And this is a great shot, right? So he has a mirror here that allows him to look down the left side. He has his traditional mirror here. And then he has his digital mirror right there on the dash. We see that digital mirror in different locations for all the different drivers.
Into the green, Hamlin goes. Can he stay there?
It's amazing how close it is. You just talked about it, Steve. I mean, look how it's just amazing you can run around a racetrack this big, that close to speed between two cars.
Here's William Byron coming to the line, and a huge weekend for Hendrick Motorsports. Last weekend at Texas, William Byron entered turn 3 on the inside of that 24 of Bubba Wallace after a late restart. Grabbed the lead and never looked back. Was able to gather the 300th win for Hendrick Motorsports, Rick Hendrick. Not too often you get to see Mr. H with the big hat, but he threw it on for that win in victory lane.
I'm willing to say never.
Well, he even turned it backwards too. It was AKA Ricky Hendrick. He threw that big hat on backwards. Green for William Byron here as far as breaking into the top 10. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Through the tri-oval, and it looks like he's going to be in the top 10. And he's 10th, so he pushes Harvick out of the top 10. He takes that 10th spot. 2.66 miles, and those two cars right now are separated by less than 3/100ths of a second.
I remember, I think it was 2007. I was crew chief for Jeff Gordon. Todd Parrott was crew chief. I want to say it was Elliott Sadler, and we tied for the front row. Tied, and that was back at the 2 laps.
Yeah.
Down to the thousandths of a second, they had to determine who the pole sitter was by owner's points. It's crazy.
Almirola's looking good here as well as he's in the green. Down the backstretch he goes. And did Marty give away something earlier that none of us were aware of? He made some comment that this might be the last race for Almirola on a super speedway.
Eric's kind of, sorry, he's in the same situation that he was in last year, in my opinion, that he, you know, kind of has everybody in limbo as far as what his plans are for the next season. A lot of rumors going around.
Yeah.
He might not run at all. He might run in the Xfinity series. He could surprise us all and stay put in this car.
52.71 for Almirola, and he is now the fastest.
P1 right now.
Like how much speed they picked up from their first run to their second run. And Blaney actually, you know, he ran, you know, a little bit, just a little bit slower. But that was a big pickup for the two Stewart-Haas cars, which makes me wonder how fast can Riley Herbst go? He was the fastest in first round. He'll be the last car out.
Good start for Larson here as Almirola's lap is the fastest lap that has been turned in qualifying, and now losing all of that is Larson down the backstretch and more.
This car performed really well, gathering speed, right? Accelerating, getting to the finish line, taking the green, and then started dropping that speed, dropping that advantage off into turn 1, down around the left, gaining it back right here, though, off of turn 4. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, but definitely making an improvement here as he closes out the lap.
Got it close. He's third fastest.
I'd be thrilled to be anything but a Ford and sit third right now.
3 still to go. Logano, Cindric, and Herbst. Herbst's lap in the first round was 1/1000th of a second slower than what Almirola has posted. We'll see if Herbst can pick up. And here we're seeing Logano. He starts off in the green.
And then again, drops from the center. In the center 1 and 2, everybody seems to struggle being able to maintain the momentum and the speed of the car as they load the car into the corner, loading into the center of the corner and turning the wheel to finish turn 2. It's like that's where the Stewart-Haas cars perform the best.
Almost makes you wonder if there's some sort of a wind shift.
Yeah, I was wondering. I looked at the flag.
Yeah, did the wind change a little bit?
Flags right now blowing from backstretch to front stretch, so really not from turn 2 to turn 3 or turn 3 back to turn 2, but
to your point, they're gaining a lot of time down the front straightaway, so the wind's pushing them toward the finish line. He's going to gain, if he's like everybody else, going to gain quite a bit off of turn 4. Just how much can he not lose right here, right? So he's a 10th down, and now he's got to find a 10th coming off this corner.
Almirola watching closely as well. It's not moving the right direction for Riley Herbst, and not fast enough. He goes through the tri-oval. He's still 7/100ths of a second slower, and that means Almirola will win his 6th career pole in his 455th start, Marty.
Well, how about that? Eric Almirola was studying intently the wind and watching all of that. Congratulations on being on the pole. What's the advantage of that? Even at Talladega, does it help to be on the front row?
Yeah, it does. You know, these races come down to pit stops, really. Track position at the end, and so you know, having a good pit stall, being able to have a clean in, clean out, stuff like that, that all matters. So I'm just really proud of Drew and all the guys on his 10 team. We've been working so hard to put speed in these Smithfield Ford Mustangs, and Doug Yates obviously brings a ton of horsepower when we come to these type racetracks. Everybody back at Roush Yates Engine Shops, thank you. Thank you to all the men and women at Stewart Haas Racing. This, not a secret, it's been a tough year for us. So to show that kind of grit and resolve for everybody continuing to grind and work and bring fast race cars to the racetrack, that says a lot about our race team. So just really proud. You know, the driver has a small part to do with it at these places, but a lot of it is just the speed built into the car. So really proud.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.